Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone around the world. I am your favorite friendly neighborhood beer bro, Mr. Kennedy. Hope everyone had a great weekend because I sure as hell didn't. All of the rain that we've been getting over the past month. Anyone that lives down south and goes through hurricane season should know what the hell we're going through. They can attest to this. A lot of rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and a lot of joint pain because I'm old. Lord knows I'm getting there. Anyways, though, welcome to episode 9 of the Mr. VG podcast. I have a lot of news for y'all today, but first and foremost, I want to address my Twitch audience, the people that come and watch me play video games. If y'all noticed, I haven't streamed for over a month, and it was simply this: I just needed a break. I owe y'all an explanation, trust me, and that's what I'm giving you. Between all the coding, the working out and working, all of the editing and streaming, I just simply got burned out. And even the beer bro needs a break every now and again. So I just wasn't in the right mind frame. And if I can't give y'all 100%, I'm going to take a step back and come back when I can give y'all 100%. So that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on with me. But I'm back and in full effect. I will be streaming the rest of Them and Us on Sunday. Hopefully we can get through the rest of that game. But yes, thank you to everyone that has been supporting me. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I just wanted to address that. Tormented Souls 2. We finally have a release date on when that game is going to be coming out. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what Tormented Souls is, if you're a fan of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, you will be right at home with this game because it's a love letter to both of those franchises. It's a lot of fun to play. If you love a lot of the dark atmospheres and crazy monsters, you'll love this. Tormented Souls 2 will be released October 23rd, 2025, next month, a week before Halloween. How perfect is that for a survival horror game to be released in the same month as Halloween, a week before Halloween? You can get your hands on it and you can have fun and play the game. I can't wait. There's so many games I want to get my hands on, man. I'm telling y'all. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Resident Evil 9, Silent Hill F, and now Tormented Souls 2. So many games that want to suck all of my personal time that I have just sitting in front of the PC monitor. I can't wait. So once again, October 23rd, 2025, Tormented Souls 2. We'll be able to get our hands on it. If you did not get a chance to play the demo, which is up on Steam, I don't know if it's up in the consoles, but it's on Steam. I did get my hands on it. The gaming mechanics are slightly different. The voice acting is slightly better, but it still keeps that cheesy charm to it that we all expect in these horror games. A lot of fun to play. Can't wait to get my hands on it. EA, Electronic Arts, man. What am I going to do with you guys? You guys can't seem to get anything right. For those of y'all who are fans of the Sims franchise and you played The Sims 4, you already know about the ongoing issues with the save file corruptions. You'll be happy to know that EA is finally getting around to addressing these issues after over a year and a half of y'all having these problems. But hey, at least they're getting to it. The save file corruption in The Sims 4 is still a problem for players, potentially locking them out of worlds they've been creating for years. And publisher EA is letting fans know that it is dedicated to weeding out these problems and eliminating them. These problems mainly center around the For Rent expansion pack for The Sims 4, which was released more than a year and a half ago. But a recent update seems to have created and caused a new slew of problems as well. A report from EA states that the development team has already fixed 29 known issues for the For Rent expansion pack, but there are still 37 other issues that need to be addressed. Of those 37, 26 issues are under current investigation, and those developers are relying on the community to provide more information on the remaining 11 issues. So, in other words, they're relying on us, the fan base, to tell them how fucked up their game is. That sounds about right for EA. Y'all know how I feel about these games releasing unfinished products to the masses and expecting us to pay full price for these things. Y'all know that I think that it's one of the biggest dick moves I've ever seen. I know for a fact that EA has playtesters that come in because I used to work security for them for 2 years. Downtown Orlando, there is a EA office that I work security in. They would bring people in groups. They would offer these people 4 free games to play test their games. So either EA is just ignoring it, which I'm pretty sure is what they did, or they just said we're not fixing it. Oh well, nobody will notice. Nothing to see here, folks. They're like the fucking Officer Bar Brady of video game companies. Just nothing to see here, folks. Don't worry about it. It just sucks that we're doing that. So I'm saying this, and this will be the last time I address this. The fan base, talk with your wallets, talk with your purses. Stop giving them money. Tell them, hey, we're not going to pay y'all for nothing else until y'all fix your stuff. Fix your stuff, man. Stop giving us games that are half-assed, that ain't fixed, that got bugs in it, and expecting us to pay full price. When we pay full price, we want a fully working product. That's all I got to say about that. Because they can't afford to keep losing money like that. Like, damn, come on. An update on Steam. Remember I talked about in the last episode that Visa and PayPal, which I wasn't completely sure if PayPal was doing the same thing, but they were being removed because the companies were not comfortable having their processors attached to controversial material. They were putting their foot on the back of Valve's neck to remove all of games that have mature themes, sexual themes, violence, things like that. Come to find out, PayPal actually is in the same boat as Visa, because just in Brazil alone, over 5 million players on Steam have lost access to PayPal. I don't have the actual number for everybody in the world, but the fact that it's 5 million in Brazil alone, this is a problem. Now, you heard me mention MasterCard in the last episode. After that, because MasterCard is mentioned in the article that I read, but then MasterCard came out with a press release saying that they denied any involvement with that. They publicly denied forcing Steam to remove games, but Valve says differently. Valve says that it received messages indirectly through banks and processors, so it makes it difficult to pin down responsibility. So Valve is saying MasterCard is on their backs. MasterCard says we have nothing to do with that. Where is the truth? It lies somewhere in the middle. I find it hard to believe that MasterCard is not involved in some way because, like Visa, they care about their corporate image. And sometimes these processors refuse to handle transactions that are tied to controversial stuff. So I don't know what's going on there. That's confusing, but I absolutely know that Visa and PayPal, their foots are out the door. And the game developers are pissed. They're accusing processors of censorship, which it is. And I will say this. I'm the type of guy, I look at Steam the way that I look at the old school video stores that we used to rent movies from and video games from, Blockbuster, Movie Gallery. There's something for everybody. You got the kids section that's out front because they know the kids love to play the video games. Way in the back, there's like a room with a door, but you have to get the cashier to go back there for adults to get all the adult stuff. I personally feel that if somebody wants to play a video game, if it's got sexual themes or it's got, gore and all that stuff, they should be able to play it in the privacy of their own home. I don't give a fuck what they're doing. It doesn't affect me. I think that people should be free to play whatever they want as long as it's not something that we universally agree on that is immoral, something that should not exist. Remember when Manhunt came out and how everybody got upset about that and it got banned? Mortal Kombat, the backlash that they got. That's why the whole rating system is even a thing, because of Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. I think that gamers should be able to play whatever they want. However, Valve, they need these companies, these processors to get their money. Now you can still use other currencies like, USD, United States dollars. You can use Australian dollars. You can use Canadian dollars, Japanese yen. You can use all that to still buy your stuff, but it's convenient when you can use Visa, because most people have a Visa card or MasterCard or PayPal. And it's a pain in the ass when you don't have that option. This whole thing is just a mess. It's a mess, and it's going to get worse because you're already seeing some games being removed. Steam is already buckling under the pressure because they need that money. So at the end of the day, it's a problem for the players, because Steam used to be a place where you can just, bring a game to life, your own creation and stuff like that. And if people want to play it, they play it. If they don't, they don't. So like I said, as long as it's nothing absolutely you're out of your mind, take that shit down. I don't think any game should be censored. Anyways, though, Blizzard. I want to talk about them because we have 2 articles about them. And this is probably the most I talked about Blizzard in a while. Blizzard suing popular WoW server, a private server of Turtle WoW, which is World of Warcraft, for copyright infringement. Turtle WoW servers strike a balance that thousands of World of Warcraft players have come to enjoy, providing a fan-made expansion story for World of Warcraft Vanilla. Servers have been available since 2018, but Turtle WoW has been surging in popularity, which might have made the issue a new priority for Blizzard. The lawsuit claims that Turtle WoW has built an entire business on a large-scale, egregious, and ongoing infringements of Blizzard's intellectual properties. Blizzard cites the players' abilities to access servers without processing a licensed copy of the game, creating and maintaining an account, or paying subscription fees. In turn, these servers introduce security risk fragments of the WoW player communities and create confusion as to what are official supported versions of the WoW video games. So there's a lot going on here. If these guys indeed are turning a profit illegally with Blizzard's IP, then they absolutely have the right to be sued and shut down. Like, Blizzard should be suing them and taking action. But if it's free, like a lot of modders like to do, they like to mod games like Super Metroid and Super Mario World and all that stuff. If it's just free and the fans are just having fun, I don't see what the big deal is. Popularity doesn't mean they're making money off your stuff. So I will put that there. It's just a popular thing. There's a lot of popular mods out there that a lot of fans play, but the creator doesn't make any money. But if they are, take action and do what you got to do. The fact that you do have players getting accesses to accounts that they don't have a legal copy of the game, and they can create and maintain accounts without paying the subscription fee, that's downright wrong. They need to be shut down for that. So that's what I got to say about that. On another front, on the Diablo side of Blizzard, Diablo developers vote to unionize at Blizzard, which is a good thing. Per a press release, the union class consists of game developers, artists, designers, engineers, and support staffs across the Diablo franchise. A group of 450 developers at Game Diablo at Blizzard have voted in favor of a unionization with Communications Workers of America, CWA. This is what Kelly Yeo had to say, which she's a game producer and a member of the committee. With every subsequent round of mass layoffs I've witnessed, the dread in my coworkers grows stronger because it feels like no amount of hard work is enough to protect us. I am overjoyed that we have formed a union. This is just the first step for us, joining a movement spreading across an industry that is tired of living in fear. We are ready to begin fighting for real change alongside our Diablo colleagues. Good for them. Good for them. I absolutely agree with them because you need to protect your job. You need to protect your benefits. A lot of these people, as I mentioned before, Microsoft laid off 9,100 people. One of the biggest mass layoffs in the history of video gaming. So to have these unions in place protects their job, gives them job security, and keeps their benefits. A lot of these people have families. A lot of these people have been cut and not given any reason why they were cut. And nobody should ever be treated like that, especially if they work hard for you. Like, they deserve enough respect. So I hope, and I told y'all with the SAG-AFTRA stuff with the voice actors who got their unionized contract, and the other one, I forget what the gaming company was, but the last unionized contract that they had in Microsoft, that this was going to be a trickle-down effect. And I think it's good for these people. Good for these people, and I hope that it keeps going. The Return of Silent Hill, the movie that is currently about to come out, they released a trailer. And it actually looks pretty cool. You know what? I think Pyramid Head looks pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Whoever did the aesthetics for that and the makeup and stuff, they really did a good job. Return to Silent Hill sees director Christopher Gans return to the franchise after helming the first Silent Hill movie released back in 2006. A sequel, Silent Hill Revelations, was directed by MJ Bassett back in 2012. Gans co-wrote Return to Silent Hill along with Sandra Vohane, I think that's how you pronounce that, Vohan, and William Snyder. The movie is a faithful adaptation of the video game Silent Hill 2, we'll see about that, which was released back in 2001, and I can't even believe that it has been that long since that game came out. Now, to be fair, I will give this movie a chance because I will admit video game movies have gotten better since my days, since the days of Super Mario Brothers and Double Dragon and Blood Rain and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I have lived through some shitters and they are getting better. Is it a faithful adaptation? I will have to see about that because Silent Hill 2 is widely revered by a lot of horror game fans. And I hope that they pull this off because if they don't, they'll have no fury like a fan base that is scorned and pissed off. In the footage, Jeremy Irvin plays James Sutherland as he ventures through the haunted town of Silent Hill, runs through dark corridors, a burning building, and away from the killer Pyramid Head. Hannah Emily Anderson also featured as the cast. She also featured as Mary Crane, which is, of course, a lot of people know that player if you play Silent Hill 2. I like the trailer. It looks pretty cool, especially Pyramid Head. But it's not the finished product. They can always change things. We will see what happens. And last but not least, for the miscellaneous stuff, this is a crazy story that I came across. A Resident Evil cosplayer has been arrested. Let me get this here. A 16-year-old reportedly cosplaying as Resident Evil's Hunk has been arrested for carrying a fake firearm. This isn't the first time a video game fan has been arrested for taking their fandom public. There have been people taken into custody for dressing up as a stormtrooper or Fallout character in power armor. Usually, it is the fake weapons on display that cause the ruckus, and that seems to be the case for this Resident Evil cosplayer. On August 30th, a 16-year-old cosplaying as Hunk from the series Resident Evil was arrested near Stamford Bridge Stadium in the UK on suspicion of a possession of a imitation firearm, according to the police. It is believed that he was attending the London Anime and Gaming Convention nearby and was reportedly carrying a fake MP5, which is the weapon that Hunk would use, the character's usual weapon. Initially, some media outlets reported the incident as an arrest of an attempted mass shooter, which Metropolitan Police quickly denied. As of 2:30 p.m. GMT time, he was still in custody, though it is unknown if the cosplayer will be charged with any crime. And I will say this, the police were doing their job. You got to look at it from a logical standpoint. They cannot take any chances with this stuff. With all of these shootings, people going in and shooting up churches and schools and clubs and all of these places with large amounts of people. And these guns, these cosplay guns look pretty real. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, even some of these people, they paint them black to make them look real. This kid should have known better than to walk out in public like that. It's nothing wrong with cosplaying as Hunk, whatever the hell he's wearing, a hazmat suit or whatever the fuck he's wearing. But a realistic looking gun? Like, what did you think was going to happen? When the police saw that you're out in public, they don't know what you plan on doing. They don't know if you plan on shooting up the place. They don't know if the gun is real. They don't know what your intentions are. They were doing their job. And the one thing I will say is that I'm happy that it did not escalate more than this, because police are trained that to protect themselves. So if they see anything that looks like a weapon, they have the right to defend themselves. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that the kid was just taken into custody and not killed, because it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. This kid could have lost his life over this foolishness. And there has been no update as to what happened with him, if he was charged with anything, but people really, really need to be careful. They really need to think about what they do out there in public, because stuff like this can happen, and that just sucks. We're done with the miscellaneous stuff. Let's move on to Xbox. Because you thought that was the craziest story I got. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I got a story here for y'all. Man who stole Xbox found asleep in his car, assaulted police, and attempted to flee. Holy shit. Officers responded to a report of a suspicious vehicle on the Key Fleet around 2 a.m. Sunday, 2025, August 24th. Give me 1 second. Let me scroll up here. A burglar was caught sleeping in his car after he stole an Xbox and tried to run away from the police. Jamie Drawbro, 25, of Wiltshire Road, Workingham, pleaded guilty in the court Tuesday, August 2026 to burglary, assault, and driving offenses following incidents in Hook and Fleet. This guy stole a television, an Xbox, alcohol, and an internet router back on August 22nd. So now we know what the hell was going on, what the hell he was thinking when he attempted to fight the police and assault the police. The man was drunk. And then he fell asleep in his car and woke up with a bunch of cops surrounding him. Get on the ground. Get out of the car. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people, man? Like, it's just, It's so stupid. It's crazy. Did he really think he was going to get away with that? Come on, man. And you know he's going to be charged. He's in custody. He's going to be on trial later on this month. So what the hell was he even trying to do? Stealing an Xbox, alcohol, a television, and internet router. Yeah, man, you know, it's crazy. You know, I'm not even gonna question it because the guy clearly was drunk. He had alcohol in the system, apparently. Why the hell would you steal an internet router you don't pay for? You ain't gonna get no internet. Like, what the hell was he planning on doing? Oh my God, man. And that's not even the craziest story that I have. We'll get to that later. Following Xbox Perfect Dark cancellation, Crystal Dynamics suffers more layoffs in 2025. They posted on LinkedIn, Crystal Dynamics says, today, we have made a very difficult decision to part ways with a number of our talented colleagues as a result of evolving business conditions. This decision was not made lightly. It was necessary, however, to ensure the long-term health of our studios and core creative priorities in our continually shifting market. Those impacted, we recognize and thank you for your hard work, talent, and passion. We are committed to offering the full extent of our support and resources at our disposals during this transition. To our teams, players, and partners, thank you for your continued support as we build a creative, sustainable, and resilient tomorrow together. This includes the future of Tomb Raider, which remains unaffected by this decision. We hope that everyone that has lost their jobs in this round of layoffs lands on their feet quickly and finds work at other development studios. It has been a tough few years for the gaming industry as the studios continue to wrestle with rising AAA gaming making costs, trade tariffs, and rising inflations. Of course, the other team that was working on Perfect Dark, Microsoft's the initial studios was fully shut down following its reboot's cancellation last month. We look forward to seeing what Crystal Dynamics can build with its next Lara Croft adventure on Xbox whenever it sees the light of day. So, at least we're not going to lose Tomb Raider, at least for right now. That's what they have to say. As a matter of fact, we're getting a Tomb Raider live action series, which is going to be starting on Amazon Prime, and it stars Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. For those of y'all who are watching the Tomb Raider anime, season 2 will be the final set of episodes that is coming out. It's due on Netflix in December, and we'll be wrapping up with those episodes. So we got a lot of Tomb Raider stuff going on here. Other franchises, not so much. But at least for right now, they have confirmed that they are working on another Tomb Raider game. It just kind of sucks. Not kind of sucks. It does suck that people have to lose their jobs in this whole stuff, which is why I talked about that stuff earlier about unionization. They got to have this stuff in play. And a lot of these people lose their jobs. They can't pay their bills. And it's hard out there right now. I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to become a front-end web developer. And with AI out there as competition, people who have way more experience in the game that I have, they're struggling to keep their job. So it's 10 times harder for me. So, you know, with that in mind, the gaming development stuff can't be any different than what we're going on with right now. Yo, all of these mass layoffs, I mean, what the hell, dude? It just sucks. Sucks to hear it, man. These are some of the Xbox games that are shutting down this month and next month. Not too many heavy hitters, but you kind of expect this around this time of the year. A lot of these servers will be shutting down. Fae Farm, September 10th, so that's a couple of days. Hades Star, October 1st. NHL 21, October 6th. Need for Speed Rivals, October 7th. Madden 22, October 20th. Skyforge, October 29th. FIFA 2023, October 30th. The Golf Club 2019, October 30th. The PGA Tour 2K21, October 30th. And Rust, the console edition for the Xbox One, will also be shutting down October 30th. So if you have any of those games, those servers will be shutting down. There will no longer be any more support for that because they're getting ready, to come out with the new Madden that's coming out 2025. And I'm pretty sure there'll be another NHL game and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's what happens. That's it for the Xbox portion. Let's move on to Nintendo. Bam. I got a few articles here for you guys. Let me get the thing up here. I have these in tabs. Thank God for Microsoft Edge being able to put all of these articles into their own groups. And like I said about the man that fell asleep in his car that stole the Xbox and the Resident Evil cosplayer that was arrested, this is the craziest story that I have here. Long Island man allegedly made $2 million selling fake Nintendo products in a years-long scheme. Isaac Lipidus, 34 of Lawrence, was apprehended on Wednesday in the Nassau County District Court on charges for trademarking, counterfeiting, and conspiracy. Sorry, tripping over my words. He pleaded not guilty and was released on pretrial services, the Nassau County District Attorney's Office said in a news release. It is not clear if he has attained an attorney. District Attorney Ann T. Donnelly alleged that Lipidus sold hundreds of thousands of counterfeit Nintendo accessories for the popular gaming consoles and games through Amazon. He allegedly kept phony items in an Island Park warehouse, he said. The scheme was uncovered after Amazon and Nintendo learned that fake products were being sold through 5 Amazon seller accounts. An investigation found that the 5 seller accounts were connected to Lipidus, according to the release. Between October 2018 to September 2025, which is this month, Lipidus allegedly sold more than 200,000 fake Nintendo Switch docking stations, 10,000 docking station adapters, 15,705 Pokemon Go Plus accessories. The district attorney's office alleged that the gross sales totaled to more than $2 million. Despite the customer complaints about the imitation products in their reviews, sales totaled the millions of dollars. Donnelly said counterfeit products are not just bad for the business, they can be dangerous for consumers, especially when electronics are involved. So this guy made bank over selling fake products that could possibly damage your system or burn your system because you don't know where these things come from. Now, if you have an eye for this console, the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2, if you know it like the back of your hand, people will be able to spot a fake item from miles away. But if you're someone like me who just casually plays the Switch, I don't really know the difference. They all look the same, kind of the same to me. They're fake Nintendo Switch consoles. The only way you could tell that it's fake is that, they got emulators and stuff like in like old Nintendo games and shit. But people can make the exact replica of any product, and that sucks that he was able to get away with that. And the fact that it took Amazon and Nintendo this long to catch on to that, 2018? What the hell's going on over there? But he will be facing charges. He pleads not guilty, even though they allege that he has a warehouse with all of this stuff in it. How he's getting these products, you can get this stuff through other countries. Like I said, this knockoff PS Vitas that look like PS Vitas, but they don't play like that. They don't have any other games. You got the Chinese market that makes these things, and they buy these things and they sell it online as an official product. It happens all the time. It's one of the biggest schemes that you've ever seen. And that just sucks. But I hope that he gets what's coming to him. The Nintendo 3DS, I don't know why I keep saying 3S, 3DS repairs officially come to an end. Even though the system had been discontinued in 2020, Nintendo was still continuing to repair the 2DS and the new 2DS and the 3DS. But Japan has officially run out of parts for repairs for that, so they won't be fixing any more 3DSs. This was officially made by Nintendo on their account. And I'm sorry, my laptop over here froze up. So I have to restart that. But yes, the final nail has been hammered into the 3DS coffin as Nintendo officially runs out of replacement parts. As a reminder, the 2DS was an alternate model for the 3DS that it was the 3DS without the 3DS functionality. Nintendo already stopped offering repairs for the early 2DS models, but the new 2DS models version that still came up with extra analog sticks, they were still supported up until now. Nintendo announced today in a machine translated tweet from its Japanese customer support account that due to shortage of spare parts, there will be no more repairs to the new 2DS XL. That stopped as of September 4th, 2025, so it is officially dead now. Rest in peace to the Nintendo 3DS and the 2DS. That just sucks, but I mean, it was bound to happen eventually. They can't keep repairing the system forever. That system's been done, so I just thought I would let y'all know that. Now, I want to talk about this thing because it is pretty cool. Nintendo Star subsidiary formed to handle video game movie adaptations. This branch is actually a former company, Warp Star Inc., which previously handled the licensing for the Kirby IP movies. This is a subsidiary that will be specifically responsible for doing the live action adaptations of the new Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out and the Legend of Zelda movie that's coming out, which the Super Mario Brothers movie will be April 3rd, 2026, May 7th, 2027. So going forward, this will be responsible for making all of the live adaptation movies, which is a smart move on Nintendo's part because, they already have their hands in a lot of cookie jars, man. They already got a lot of things going on, and it's nice to just have a section of your company that specifically focuses on making the movies while you make the video games and keep the console running. They are hoping that this subsidiary will help bring more eyes to their games and their franchises alike. So I just wanted to tell y'all about that because that is a smart move for Nintendo. And that is it for the Nintendo section. Let's move on to our good old friends at Sony. Bam. Sony, y'all have not been having a good week, have y'all? Sony network crashes. Thousands of gamers struggle as servers go down. I don't know what's going on with that thing. The fact that they keep getting hacked is just crazy. This was Wednesday of last week. A massive outage of the PlayStation Network, which rendered thousands of users unable to access their main services. If you can access PSN right now, you are facing login or connection issues. You're probably affected by the downtime. According to Down Detector, almost 11,000 have reported that some players struggled to log in. Others complained that it could not access several servers handful said that they could not resume their game progress. The statistics for Down Detector found about 87% of the issues reported were server connections problems, 7% were login related, and 5% were game interruptions. Sony hasn't even said anything about this yet. There has been no public announcement from Sony to date. Users took to social media sites such as Reddit to express their frustrations. One user said that it's his first time encountering a PSN outage. Since he's new to Reddit, it feels good to confirm that he's not the only one experiencing it. This outage is not the first large scale of disruption suffered by PSN. Y'all remember the last one a couple of years ago when people's bank accounts were being drained of their money and Sony offered nothing, no explanation. They couldn't even keep their fucking story straight. Every time you turn around, it was a different story from somebody in that company, and they did get it back up and running, but the players are still suffering for that now. A lot of people went into negative, went into debt from all the money that was being taken from their accounts. And the fact that Sony is not even saying anything about this and just leaving people in the dark, I would be pissed off too. I don't know if it's back up yet because I don't have a Sony, I don't have a PlayStation. But this is bad, man. This is really bad. I don't know if Nintendo's ever had that. I know that Xbox had their stuff hacked and people having their information compromised and their bank information stolen and money taken from them. They can't afford to do this stuff. They can't afford to do it. And my heart goes out to those people who are suffering. I hope that they didn't lose too much. I hope that the outage just goes to them just not being able to log in. And I hope nobody had money stolen from them or their identities or any information. I just really hope that it didn't come down to that. As more information comes up, I will be sure to report that to you guys. But get your shit in order, Sony. Seriously. We have two more here. PlayStation Store refunds issued for upcoming PS5 RPG after backlash. PS Store users are being issued refunds for upcoming RPG Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 when it came under fire that two in-game clans, a core part of the game, were locked behind the premium edition or separate available for the Shadows and Silk DLC pack. Developer Chinese Room and publisher Paradox Interactive claimed that the $22 DLC pack was never planned for the base game and was being prepared as an additional content for the future. However, given that the player's choice of clans impacted the experience, the response did not go well. Now, Bloodlines 2 PS Store copies are being refunded by Paradox. Is making unspecific changes that will be detailed September 17th. So they plan on talking about the changes that they make. Big changes take time, and we want to do what's right, the company tweeted. Players have been told that they will have the chance to pre-order Bloodlines 2 again before October 21st. However, current pre-orders will be refunded starting today. So at least they're correcting that. $22 for DLC. I can tell you exactly what I think happened. They absolutely intended to put that in the game. Give me a fucking break, dude. They just saw a chance to be greedy and they cut it out and they wanted to charge people extra for it. And the players caught on to it. They're not stupid. It's crazy, man. Like how they even attempted to do this. And I think that the fan backlash is warranted. And this is what I said earlier, folks. Speak with your wallets. Speak with your purses. Let them know, hey, you're supposed to peddle your wares to get our attention, to get us to pay for your products. not the other way around. You need us. We don't need you. And you see what happens when you speak up for yourself. They're fixing the situation now. So I'm not lying when I say that. Folks, we need to let these companies know to stop fucking us over, man. That's the only way that things may change. So good on them. They are refunding for the pre-orders, and you'll be able to pre-order Bloodlines 2 again before October 21st next month. So I'm happy that they're doing that. Capcom says that Monster Hunter Wilds failed, but it's PlayStation's fault. Boy, I would love to hear how it's their fault. By all accounts, let's see what they got to say here. By all accounts, Monster Hunter Wilds was a massive success in March as it sold 8 million units in 3 days, becoming the fastest selling game in Capcom's history as of July 2025. The game has sold over 10 million copies, yet in Capcom's eyes, the game has been, believe it or not, a failure. Last month, Capcom deemed the title to be a failure, claiming that it failed to boost the sales of other games in the franchise when compared to Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, and they have identified the reason for its failures. In an interview spotted by VGC, the president, Capcom's president, I'm going to attempt to pronounce his name, Haruhito Tsushimoto, I completely butchered that guy's name, said that Monster Hunter Wilds met the company's internal sale goals for the first month as exceeding 10 million units. After that, though, the sales seem stagnant. And they are placing the blame to the barrier to entry when it comes to the PS5 prices. This is what he has to say. We also found that the barriers to the PS5 are unexpectedly large. The console cost around 80,000 yen, which is $540 over here. Factoring in the cost of software and monthly subscriptions, it comes to around 100,000 yen, which is $675. At the time of the purchase, y'all know that Sony raised the prices again. I talked about that. So it's no longer that. This is not easily an affordable price, especially for younger generations. This situation is not limited to Japan, but it is similar overseas. Our next challenge is to overcome these barriers and to get Monster Hunter Wilds to more people. Sales and other events will begin in the future, so we are currently developing a strategy to take advantage of these opportunities to boost sales throughout the year. So they're blaming they're blaming the price hikes of the PS5 as to why Monster Hunter Wilds is a failure, which I don't even think it's a failure. 10 million units in a month? Come on, man. There's a lot of games that never even got that close, but let's break this down real quick. Forget about the fact that when they launched this game, it was so buggy that players couldn't even play it. They failed to not mention that. And that's probably why the game didn't sell, because they probably scared a lot of people away because they didn't finish the product, as a lot of these companies don't do. But I can say I can kind of agree with what they're saying when it comes to the PS5 sales, because if you can't afford it, what makes you think you can afford the game? Why are you going to buy a game for a console you can't buy? However, what about the other consoles we got out here? Monster Hunter Wilds is not just for the PlayStation. The last time I checked, there are other consoles. But with the sales of the Xbox, because nobody's buying that shit, I think it's on the Nintendo Switch. That shit, I don't even know if it came out yet or if it's barely going to run right. You got to factor in all of these things. The PC for Steam, that launch was a large fail because a lot of people were complaining about bugs and stability issues in that as well too. So a lot of these things do play in the sales of it. But I really do think that they're making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't think that this game is anywhere near the word failure, because there are a lot of game companies, developers that wish that they could sell 8 million in 3 days. Are you kidding me? And you call that a failure? I think your expectations are far too high. And the other thing is, this is not Resident Evil. Resident Evil arguably is the best franchise that you guys have. It is the most popular. Of course, that's going to sell the most. Devil May Cry, because people love Devil May Cry more. I'm sorry. Devil May Cry is a more popular franchise than the Monster Hunter series is. But I really think that they're overlooked. The expectations are too high. I don't think this game is anywhere near as much of a failure as they say it is. Anyways, though, that is all of my notes. Thank you to everyone that showed up for episode 9. I will be back on Sunday to play some more Them and Us. And I will be back in 2 weeks for episode 10 of the Mr. VG podcast. I have fun as I always do. I love every single one of you guys. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see y'all next time.